What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? So, Beauty and the Beast,
Kong Skull Island,
Logan,
Episode 8, Last Jedi
The
teaser
best
trailer.
love letters to Hollywood that we've
This
ever
film
seen.
is a masterpiece. So, until the next time, goodbye. The Happytime Murders is directed by Brian Henson, and this was a film that I was really looking forward to seeing, actually, just because of the concept. The concept is, it's basically set in a world where puppets and humans coexist. And the first TV show that basically united humans and puppets into one show was the show called The Happytime Gang. And in this film, members of the cast of The Happytime Gang, they start getting murdered. And so a puppet detective called Phil Phillips, teams up with his old partner. He has some history with her, played by Melissa McCarthy, and they have to team up and try and solve these murders and just solve this case in general, find out who's doing it. And the thing that really attracted me to this film was the concept. R-rated Muppet puppets doing R-rated foul things. That was just a really interesting idea, and for the most part I actually enjoyed this film a lot more than I thought I would. Critics destroyed this film. They absolutely hated it. And of course, when I saw the reviews that this film was getting, I was just even more excited just to see if this was either good or a complete garbage fire. And I'm happy to report that I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought that I would. The concept really drives it. Lots of the jokes fall flat, but when they do hit, they are very, very funny. And I do think the film has enough jokes and enough shocking moments to really deliver on its concept and keep you going, to keep you entertained enough throughout the film. The actual puppetry and the voice acting for the puppets, the way that the puppets are handled in the film, I thought that was all great. The puppeteering is really good. Bill Barretta, I think, voices Phil Phillips, the main lead puppet detective, and I thought that he was really funny. I really liked his humour in the way that I like Rick and Morty, because it feels very improvised, very off the cuff, and that was really what made me laugh the most throughout the film. His reactions to certain moments, his sarcastic responses to people. That's what I really enjoyed about his character. Melissa McCarthy is also funny. She's very funny in some scenes, but she doesn't have much of a character at all, and that was a bit disappointing. It was basically just Melissa McCarthy doing Melissa McCarthy. And when you know that Melissa McCarthy can be very good in many different films, in many different roles, it was just a bit disappointing for her to not have much of a character to play. Another thing that I really liked was the whole detective noirish atmosphere. They really nailed the tone, the style, all the the grungy back streets, digging for clues, looking in the grimy, filthy areas, talking to shady people. I loved all of that. I thought that sometimes the cinematography was really good, and then sometimes it's really cheap looking, which was a bit disappointing. The cinematography is very inconsistent, but when they do capture that detective noir atmosphere, they do it really, really well, and that was another thing that I really enjoyed. And as I said before, there are enough jokes to deliver on this concept, and enough laugh out loud shock humour moments to keep you going. So those are the things that I liked about the film. There are lots of flaws to the film. One major flaw it has is that it feels like it was edited a lot. I heard that it went through multiple test screenings. People didn't like certain things, but they liked certain other things, so the end result feels very cobbled together. The plot just jumps from one plot point, one murder to another murder. There's no time in between. Some plot points happen, and you feel like there should be a lot more explanation, but they just sort of brush past it and expect you to accept it and move on. One big reveal at the end, like how they eventually solved the case, there should have been so much more fallout to that, or just explanation as to how it happened. But still, I also appreciated the fact that they just jumped from one murder, one exciting incident to the next with no real downtime, because it kept the pacing going. It was never boring. That doesn't necessarily make it good. All in all, The Happytime Murders was a new, fresh take on comedy. It just felt different from most mainstream comedies that we get these days, and that's why I appreciated it. But it could have been really good, and in the end, it just has too many flaws to be good. But all in all, I would still recommend it, especially if it's what you're in the mood for. I'm going to give Happytime Murders a C+. Check it out if you're in the mood for a foul-mouthed puppet human hybrid comedy. But if you're not, I would definitely skip this one. But those are my thoughts on Happytime Murders. If you guys have seen it, let me know what you thought. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And until the next time, goodbye.